What is up YouTube, and welcome to this Godzilla vs Kong video. This was everything I wanted from this movie. Giant monkey versus giant lizard in a triple threat with Mecha Godzilla. The payoff from each movie in this monsterverse was superb and gives the MCU a real run for its money. It is the perfect cap-off to the monsterverse, which I really hope will never end as long as we get stunning movies like this. Now, the verifieds and the Rotten Tomatoes reviewers have actually waded in with their takes, but do we care what they think? No, not at all. As we here at Superhero Nexus always say, see stuff with your own eyes, and we do take these popcorn flicks at face value. It's not going to be an A24 movie, it is monsters laying the smackdown on other monsters. This movie here is the payoff from Godzilla, King of the Monsters itself, which really did feel like an Endgame Infinity War style movie, and it takes place 5 years after Ghidorah got wrecked by our boy Godzilla. Now, notably absent is Charles Dance, who I would have liked to have been involved with Apex to continue on his work from that post-credit scene, but, well, it's a small niggle. One major problem, however, is how conveniently Kong and Godzilla are the only known titans left on Earth, and a giant dome has been erected over Skull Island due to a failing climate to protect mighty Joe Kong. I was really hoping for the Infinity War of Titans, with Titans bowing down to Kong. I mean, we had those news clippings showing that these Titans were going to Skull Island, which was a real shame. We didn't get any payoff from that. But what we got was a simplistic movie, which, looking at the other side, maybe it was a nice thing after King of Monsters, which, while was absolutely stunning, did feel a bit claustrophobic with so much going on. Now, weirdly, the Skull Islands, the Iwi, were wiped out, which was a shame, as we have Gia, the last of her tribe, and is able to have a connection with Kong as the last remaining two Skull Islanders. Now, she's been adopted by the Monsterverse's Jane Goodall, Eileen Andrews, and she can talk to Kong via sign language. Now, the human parts I did quite like in this movie and the movies as a whole, as we got the deep lore of the Monsterverse history, and while the lore wasn't explored as much as it really could have been in this movie, especially when we see the ancestral home of Kong, and only passing reference to the ancient battle between Kong and Godzilla were mentioned, but Kong cannot be moved as his safety is not guaranteed, which itself is a great movie you need to check out. And he's grown hugely since, and Godzilla would take him on if he does leave as a battle for supremacy. Now, we then cut to a really funny subplot with Bernie Hayes, who has a Titan conspiracy podcast and is working deep cover at Apex. Hey, I mean, surely Apex would have been listening to this podcast and be working out who he is, but anyway, he's working and trying to get all the info on Apex as they have some seriously shady stuff going on. He manages to unearth some shady documents, however Godzilla attacks and Bernie manages to locate the weird robotics going on and finds an orca. Yes, that makes sense because that has been used to bait Godzilla out to make him to be the demon that he was shown. As we cut to Madison, she's at school living her life after King of the Monsters and is a huge fan of the Titans podcast, as we see the news reports confirming Godzilla's attack and he isn't the savior of humanity anymore and is the bad guy. Now, this channel is Team Godzilla. Let me know in the comments, are you hashtag Team Godzilla? Are you hashtag Team Kong? But here, the whole thing that Apex were doing was trying to make him seem like the bad guy so they can use their mecha monster to take him out. It's very much sort of Batman versus Superman style story there, but if I say that, I think a lot of people will get very mad. Of course, this was all a trick, like I said, to goad Godzilla by Apex, which ultimately failed. Now, Madison heads to see her dad, and it shows how stacked this cast is, that her dad did next to nothing in this movie and was pretty superfluous, to be honest. Now, on the news was the Apex owner saying how he is working to destroy Godzilla and the Titans, but he is, again, a bit bit superfluous. It doesn't really do that much, and I would have liked more of them. I really feel like this movie would have been great if it was even split into 2 parts. But Madison's dad thinks that Godzilla is the villain as he's changed, but Madison has none of it and heads off and listens to the podcast about mechanical things being worked on by Apex. And our podcast host does believe that this is key to the attacks, as Godzilla attacks only when threatened and when there is reason. But we cut to Denham University as we meet Nathan, played by Alexander Skarsgård, who is such a weird character. Now, he seemed like an anti-hero, but falls for the Apex's plan hook, line and sinker, as he's told that Apex have worked out a way to get into the Hollow Earth, something which Nathan has written a book about. They believe there is a power source that can be used for all of humanity in there, except his brother died trying to get there due to the anti-gravity portal. But Apex have worked on HEVs, which can get through. He doesn't question them at all, and I kind of wish he was forced to work for them, but here he's doing it in honour of his dead brother. However, the Apex lackey, who just exists to have his brain fried by Mechagodzilla being overloaded, explains how there is a living genetic memory, something they forgot about when they powered up the skull, that all the Titans have. They can use Kong to take them through the portal and lead the way to the power source. Now, I feel like Nathan's story was kind of rushed and would have been so interested to learn more about what happened on Skull Island. We kind of just go there and then it's all in disrepair. But naturally, he convinces, of course, Eileen to take Kong to Antarctica to the opening of the Hollow Earth. We learn how the little girl is the last of her kind and she can commune with Kong. However, I do feel like there was 3 movies going on at once, with Kong, Mechagodzilla, as well as Madison's mission, and each I would have loved to have been explored in greater detail. What was barely explored, and I really did think that this, if there was a big negative to the movie, then this was it. I think the rivalry of Godzilla and Kong was only mentioned when we got to the Skull Island. At least it was mentioned on Skull Island and on the way there to the Hollow Earth, but I would have loved more. I want that deep lore. Just hook that lore into my veins, please. Can you tell I love this Monsterverse? We catch up with our other human contingent as Josh and Madison manage to find Bernie as he bathes in bleach. They found a guy who told them just who he is. He's kooky. Hey, he's a kooky guy, as Godzilla arrives for the epic showdown between the 2 titans. Now, Kong is chained up as Godzilla wreaks havoc and comes straight for Kong. Kong gets free and the action was just stunning. Now, the reverse POV shot of the fighter pilot was dope, and this Iron Man camera, as I'm going to dub it, has been done to death. But this looked better, as you can really tell the danger as Kong and Godzilla throw down and the nuclear breath comes out. I was a hooting and a hollering around my living room and loving every damn second of this monster UFC throwdown. However, Kong is defeated and Nathan and co make it so that it seems that Kong is dead, but Godzilla gives up and goes away, but he's still alive. And Bernie and crew sneak into Apex and find Skullcrawler eggs in a transport. I really loved the callback to Skull Island, as these were the monsters that were brought to Skull Island eons ago, and I wish we got more to learn about the full history of Skull Island and, of course, Kong's people. But they get sent to the Hong Kong secret base in this transport as Kong arrives at the Antarctica base, and eventually Gia gets him to go through the tunnel to the Hollow Earth, and they shoot through the portal following our big ape boy in their transports, and they think that there may be more Kongs there. Now, Kong, in a sort of reverse of Skull Island, leads everyone to the power source, but absolutely destroys the wingbats in the process. Now, eventually, Kong reaches a temple that is the throne room of his species, and it shows an ancient battle between Godzilla and his species. I presume after this, they retreated to Skull Island via the portal, but died off due to the habitat not being suitable, as the Hollow Earth is incredibly different. It's a real shame that we didn't see these fight, or at least have a flashback. That would have been awesome, seeing a species of Kongs fight this ancient Godzilla. But it looked really cool, especially if you get a chance to see it in 4K. Now the power source is there too, and this was just so badass to see the throne room look stunning and reminded me of the Temple of Godzilla where the nuke was set off to revive him. We then cut to our stowaways with Madison, Josh and Bernie as they see Mechagodzilla open up and kill a skullcrawler easily, except it can only reach 40% power, but Apex are going to use the power source to connect it, but except it's being powered by the Ghidorah skull. Now Kong gets his axe. I loved how it's made from the dorsal fins and it's powered by the source, which just looks dope, and we get to see this whole real throne room look thriving, and I love how it's made from the dorsal fin. However, Apex being Apex start to use the power source and Mechagodzilla starts to be powered up, but the genetic memory of Ghidorah takes over as the pilot's brain goes squishy. One of the coolest things in the movie was easily when Godzilla uses his power to blow through the damn earth. No wonder Kong got wrecked there, but it's pretty funny how the Apex owner's daughter and him died pretty easily, and Apex as a whole were pretty naff villain. They weren't given enough time to breathe. We had way too much going on at once, but I enjoyed the movie. I just always want more. That's why I always wanted a 4-hour damn cut of the Justice League. Kong and Godzilla fight as Kong is defeated once more, but is powered up using an exploded transport, and they pair up to take down Mechagodzilla. Mechagodzilla looked so freaking good. It could have easily been really corny, but it really did work here. Now, Godzilla powering the axe with his breath was next level as it's used to defeat Mechagodzilla. With Mechagodzilla defeated, Kong gains Godzilla's respect and is free to be the king of the Hollow Earth. Now, of course, I loved the movie. I said that at the start. I was really critical just because I love this universe, and it's been a universe I've loved ever since the first Godzilla movie, and I have a fond memory of seeing it with my father, who's sadly no longer with me, and I'm very sad that he didn't get to see the outcome of this with myself at the cinema. But that aside, I really hope that you guys enjoy this movie. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll probably do some lore things, I think, during the week, maybe next week. But I really liked how we got to see the home of the apes down below in the Hollow Earth. And I do wish we kind of spent more time in the Hollow Earth to learn more about these. And missing was all of the Titans because we had so much build up to it and we never got the payoff. Yes, that's a bit of a shame there. But overall, it was a really, really fun movie and something you should just really take at face value and shouldn't really go too much into depth of it being a movie. Of course, it's contentious having the human people. Some people I know have said they don't like it, but I do. It adds a actual change. It adds a paradigm shift and shows what these things are fighting for, because Godzilla fights for Earth and against other Titans, and you have to see the stakes, otherwise it's just an ever-increasing kind of monsters fighting each other, and then that becomes boring. It's just a CGI orgy when you want to see the grounded part. And I do hope they carry on. There wasn't a post-credit scene because the director said that he doesn't want to be painted into a corner about how they proceed. I'd imagine that he wasn't happy with all the lead-ups into this because it seems like he wanted to make his own movie, and I respect that. I thought overall it was just superb. I've said that multiple times, and well, I'd love to hear what you think down below. Please do let me know in the comments. Please do drop a like and do subscribe with notifications on if you want more from us. I will be back with more videos. You know it. I'll see you soon. Stay safe and have an awesome day.